Buffalo dung beetle.
I know what a dung beetle does, so I'm not interested in eating it.
They sound disgusting.
To get up close to this extraordinary snack, head out of Thailand's capital city, Bangkok, to the Khon Kaen region, 200 miles north, home of the tasty Mang Kuji beetle. For the last 180 million years, these beetles have inhabited Thailand's paddy fields. In fact, to be precise, they've nested here and eaten here in the droppings of the water buffalo, before ending up on the dinner plate themselves. For this insect-turned local delicacy, only the freshest dung will do. There are over 200 species of dung beetle to choose from in Thailand. To get the lowdown on the best edible varieties, we asked the experts.
The one that's perfect is not too big, not too small. It has to be middle-sized and not with a lot of horns, okay, because they're difficult to chew.
After the local farmers have collected the beetles, the first stop is a vigorous soak. Once they're clean on the outside, they're put in the water to swim. And so scared are the beetles of drowning that they soon make themselves lighter by releasing everything inside them, ensuring their last smelly meal is soon all over the bottom of the pan. Jong Jai has become a bit of an expert in preparing the beetles.
Once they've been washed, we put them in the pan with the ingredients.
Jong Jai adds lemongrass, onions, oil, herbs, and salt before pan-frying the beetles on the stove.
The best beetles are from the fresh buffalo or cattle dung, and the biggest ones are best.
These dung beetle connoisseurs know the secret is to pull off the legs and wings first to avoid having to reach for the toothpick later. Then they pull off the head and pop them straight in the mouth. The beetles have a nutty taste and a slightly meaty texture, which helps to explain their popularity. And nutritionists are very complimentary, even taking the dung factor into account.
The thing to remember about dung beetles, of course, is that they live off fecal matter. They live off feces, dung. But dung does contain a lot of useful nutrients. The dung beetle delivers just as much protein, but in fact half the fat, twice the calcium, and 5 times the iron than you would find in a burger. If I was making a choice between a Big Mac and a Bug Mac, from a nutritional point of view, undoubtedly the Bug Mac wins hands down.
So beetles are a healthy convenience food, and with 350 varieties of edible beetles in the world, it shouldn't be too hard to track some down during your next vacation. Weird foods are spreading fast. We found a surprising treat for sweet-tooth snackers on the next leg of our journey as chocolate-coated scorpions claw their way onto our menu at number 9. We headed for England and Europe's most upmarket city, London, where edible bugs are now all the rage. This is Fortnum & Mason, one of London's premier department stores. Established in 1707, it went on to become the Royal Grocers, and the store still regularly dispatches provisions to London's royal palaces. Food halls don't come much more upscale than this. Taking afternoon tea at Fortnum & Mason is a very English institution. For hundreds of years, gentlefolk have been snacking on sandwiches and cakes, washed down, of course, with tea. But today, there are some more unusual snacks on the cake tray. These are chocolate-coated. We track down the man responsible, Dominic Weston, who travels the world sourcing exotic produce.
We buy a fantastic range of products from across the globe, and some of the more unusual products we purchase are a range of insects. The more popular products in our range are chocolate-covered scorpions, chocolate-covered worms, which make a great alternative to after-dinner chocolates, whole hornets in honey, lollipops that contain scorpions. They're good for scaring your friends, and they actually taste great.
The suppliers have branded the products as edible, but not everyone's buying that line.
And cover them in chocolate, but it still looks like scorpions. So.
I've never heard anybody eating a scorpion. It's crunchy chocolate, isn't it?
There are over 1,100 different species of scorpions in the world, and this is what they look like before chocolate coating. Only 20 varieties can sting to kill, so presumably they're not the ones we're eating. Wrong. According to Todd Dalton, the man responsible for finding the raw ingredients.
The scorpions that we use come from China, are deadly poisonous before they're detoxified. If one was to sting you, you would probably die within about 24 hours. We take the scorpions, first they're actually dropped in boiling water and then they're shipped to the States, where they are detoxified in the laboratory by a special process.
It's quite some journey. From China to America, these globe-trotting scorpions then come to London to be finally dipped in chocolate and boxed for sale in Fortnum&Mason.
We've sold hundreds of thousands of scorpions now, and in fact chocolate-covered insects in general. So I certainly think eventually, once people get their heads around it, it could perhaps become their new sort of, fancy after-dinner aperitif to serve with your coffee.
As well as being dangerously fashionable, it seems they might also make you healthier.
Eating chocolate-coated scorpions is quite a good way of eating. Chocolate-coated scorpions is quite a good way of eating chocolate. Chocolate is high in sugar and it can raise your blood sugar levels. However, scorpions are high in protein, so if you match the sugar with the protein, it's actually a much safer way to eat your chocolate.
So, it's a healthy alternative to chocolate, but it won't necessarily catch on everywhere.
I wouldn't touch anything that crawls along the floor inside chocolate at all. No, I wouldn't.
Definitely not. They're insects. It's scary.
There's no point in eating things that are poisonous unless you're really addicted, and I'm not.
The jury's still out on whether chocolate-coated scorpions will be the latest sweet-toothed addiction. We're counting down the world's best weird foods. Next, we'll be trying out a more savory snack. At number 8, it's rattlesnake steak. Snakes. They got Adam and Eve into a whole lot of trouble, and they've played the villain ever since. Some are lethal, and this is a particularly dangerous variety. The rattlesnake might not look like an obvious candidate for our culinary countdown, but we traveled to the American state of Texas, to Sweetwater, home of the rattler. Every March, Sweetwater stages a remarkable festival called the Rattlesnake Roundup, the largest event of its kind in the world. It's been running since 1958, and today 30,000 visitors descend to see up to 3,000 live snakes and diamondbacks up to 6 feet long. They don't just come to look. Snake is on the menu here, too. But you don't have to wait all year to chew over a rattler. All over Texas, restaurants have sprung up to cater for people wanting to taste a bit of snake.
Welcome to the Big Texan, the home of the free 72-ounce steak and our live rattlesnakes.
Opened in 1960, the Big Texan Steak Ranch feeds 500,000 cowboys and tourists a year. And co-owner Bobby Lee knows what's top of their wish list.
When they come here, this is our opportunity to really show them what Texas is all about. What's more known in Texas beside tornadoes is the rattlesnake. I mean, it's a fascination of the